Hi, my name's Bert, and today on Bert's Music Reviews, I'll be reviewing Neil Young's new album, A Letter Home, which was released on April 19th, 2014 for International Record Store Day. On this album, Neil Young does a throwback to the early 40s, where music used to be more about the story that the artist told than the effects on the guitars or the singing or the style. Or it was more about the substance and what people felt when they were recording. And I really feel that comes through on this album, but most people's first reaction to this album will be probably negative because of the way it sounds. And I don't think that's appropriate, but that's how most people will feel. But after you get past the initial graininess, you'll get to the meat and potatoes of it, which is this soldier that's calling home to his mother with these songs that he learned growing up. And at least for me, I felt like I was there with him, and it really makes you feel like you're there. This album was recorded, interestingly, with a phonograph machine that was from the 40s, which I find quite cool. It was in Jack White's basement, actually. I'm not a fan of Jack White, but I found that interesting. Another thing about this album that I didn't realize at first was that it's actually a cover album. Now, I know you're probably going to ridicule me for that, but when you listen to it, you'll understand that it doesn't really sound like covers until he gets to the Willie Nelson songs that you recognize. And even then, when you're listening to them, at least for me, it was like, this sounds familiar, have I heard this before? And it's really interesting how he does it, and I really dug this album. The one thing that I really didn't like on this album was just some of the songs. The mixing was, you couldn't really hear Neil Young, especially in Changes. I found that I had to look up the lyrics to Changes just so I knew what he was saying. I realize it's a popular song in some groups, but I've never heard it before this album. I really like that he did covers of Gordon Lightfoot and Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan. I thought those were really interesting picks for Young to do. The instrumentation on this album is mostly done by Neil Young, except for some pianos and some singing by Jack White. And as I stated earlier, I'm not really a fan of Jack White, but you really couldn't tell when the album was recorded. After I did some research, I was kind of disappointed that one of my idols was recording with one of the people that I don't like very much, but all in all, it was actually pretty good. It was one of the only two things with Jack White in it that I'll ever listen to in my life, including Danger High Voltage by Electric Six. All in all, I actually really enjoyed this album, even though it was really short, which is another fallback. It was only half an hour, and hopefully we get some more original Young coming, because with this, it's top-notch. It's probably my third favorite Neil Young album behind After the Gold Rush and his first album. For me, it's a thumbs up. I like it. I dig it. You should listen to it. You should buy it. It's on iTunes. It's cheap. Next time, I'll be reviewing the new Big Wreck album, Ghosts, which comes out on June 10th. Some people on Twitter are pretty excited about that, so tune in, and I'll let you know what I thought. Be sure to make requests on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. Be sure to subscribe, like, share, favorite, show your friends, because my name needs to be out there. And until next time, yeah, thanks, bye.